Hello, everyone! Welcome back to the last episode of my Dragon Quest VI 100% walkthrough, where we will finally beat the post-game boss Nokturnus once and for all. Joining us for this momentous occasion is Skaizo. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing well, and hey, YouTube.
Everyone say hi. They're with you in spirit.
Okay,
And,
well, let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Now, if you'll recall, this guy showed up in part 17 as the guy that the king tried to summon to beat up Mortimer, and, well, that plan backfired, as it does with demons. Anyways, don't be turned off by the charts. We're just using that to keep track of where he is. The guy's got three different attack patterns. Pattern A, B, and C. And out of all of those, we're hoping that he stays in pattern A, as that's the one that Carver can just tank all day with the liquid metal slime class. But more likely than not, he will go into pattern C at least once. Which is, okay, like right now, whenever you see him use disruptive waves like that, that means he transitions into pattern B, which always transitions into pattern C. So, we are gonna face some chances of getting trolled by the RNG. Do you know why, Skaizo?
Well, I imagine it's just the fastest way to do it.
It is the fastest way to do it, but beyond that, pattern C is mostly melee attacks. And while Carver has really high defense in this game is calculated so that you need more defense than you do attack in order to accomplish something. Like, your total attack power is your attack divided by 2. Your total defensive power is your defense divided by 4. So at a certain point, you're still gonna take damage, even with maxed out defense. And Nokturnus is strong enough to do that, especially if he gets oomph on himself like he did on this turn. With that, if he uses something like Dragon Slash or Metal Cut, he can do around 100 damage to Carver, no matter what. So this is a little bit risky, and why we're using an Yggdrasil leave in advance, so that it automatically revives whoever dies.
So this is going to be a fairly quick battle, isn't it?
I think so. Around 7 minutes. It has to be quick, otherwise you don't get the secret ending.
Really? Oh, that's right. You have to finish it in a set amount of turns, right?
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
That's why we're keeping track of that. I don't have all that clutter just 'cause I can, you know.
Well, I would say that the clutter adds to it. It's informative.
Oh, thank you. Anyways, yeah, the turn limit is you have to kill him by turn 20. Now, we actually managed to do it by turn 17 with this strat, so you have some leeway for getting trolled. In fact, I would say the only thing that can really mess you up in this fight, aside from the melee attacks, which you can deal with, Rex has Disruptive Wave himself, which will get rid of oomph if you use it. But like, the number one thing we just cannot counter is lullabies, which he, again, is in pattern C, and it just puts a guy to sleep, no matter what. It cannot be blocked. And technically, he can do it 3 times in a single round, even though, like, it's not likely. He's a third of a chance to attack once, third of a chance to attack twice, and third of a chance to attack 3 times. And then you stack the 16% of lullabies on top of that, so we're talking like statistically insignificant chances here. But the fact that you can do it at all is still trouble.
Right, so there are no items that can cure sleep, right?
There are not. We have spells, but that kind of assumes that our spellcasters don't get put to sleep, and that they survive long enough to actually use it, since Carver can get put to sleep as well.
Okay, so sleep is the most troublesome status in the game.
I would say so. Or at least it's the one that gives you the most trouble in boss fights. I guess the most troublesome one would be paralysis, but no boss really uses it.
And what does that do?
It stuns you for the rest of the fight. And it heals after a random amount of steps once you're out of the fight. Actually, that one you can use an item for. Yeah, so I guess sleep really is the most troublesome.
Yeah, so I guess when you're paralyzed in this game, you are just disabled for the rest of battle, and there's nothing you can do. You can't move anymore, right?
Right. Unless you use a Moonwort bulb. So I guess with sleep, yeah, it is the most troublesome.
That is very dangerous.
It
Fortunately,
is.
no boss uses it.
Oh, yes. That is why you're kind of hoping that Nokturnus just sticks in pattern A as much as possible. In fact, you pretty much have to hope that he always does that if all you did, if you're playing the remakes and all you did was grind up a liquid metal mind class and a dragon class, because 3 dragons alone only barely do enough damage with their cold breath to kill this guy in under 20 turns. So once that happens, you pretty much need Carver to live, or else you need to just restart with the Sands of Time.
Looks like we're very close to finishing this fight.
We are. Although, I guess... Oh, I should say something about multi-shot and Falcon Slash. Those divide a person's attack power in exchange for giving them more attacks in a round. So those will be negated by Carver's defense. I mean, not negated, but like single or double digit damage at most. So that's not so bad.
Sure.
Oh, one more fun fact. One more. Dragon Cut is bugged in this version. It does not deal 1.5 times to dragons as it does in the remakes.
And what does it do instead?
Normal damage.
Okay, so just like a regular attack then.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's not so bad. Like, do you remember, like, focus energy from Pokemon? And how it quarters your critical hit chance instead of doubling it?
Oh gosh, yeah. That generation, man.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
They didn't even fix it in Actually, did they fix it in Stadium? I know
They did.
Stadium. Yeah. Okay, so they did.
Yeah, they fixed most of them. Most of the glitches. I don't believe there's any from Gen 1. And there we go, we beat him.
Yep. 17 turns, just like that. And now he is going to do something rather special for us. One of the my favorite scenes in the entire game. I love how they're just standing like right underneath Mortimer. And Nora's like, what the heck?
So now he's gonna get pretty much beaten to death, I guess?
Oh yeah. And Nokturnus, I don't know if he was just holding back against us or what, but he is just gonna go ham on this poor fool. 9,999 damage. Like, I don't even know how he did that, or why he didn't do it against us.
So why is he doing this? Why is he fighting this guy? Why is it?
Because we beat him, so he's gonna grant us a wish.
Right.
Also, I kind of like the attention to detail in Mortimer's spells. Like, first he casts Kasap, and then when that doesn't work, he just buffs himself up as much as he can with defense and attack raising spells. Just like a player would do.
The transition here is pretty cool, actually. I like it.
It's even better in the remakes. Do you know what he does there?
What does he do?
There's this little yellow orb thing that he gets reduced to when you beat him up. Like, his second body just dissolves and only a yellow orb is left. It disappears off the screen, and then the screen cracks, and his fingers just emerge through the cracks in the screen, and he just rips it open and comes out in this form and just roars at you. It's the coolest thing.
That's really cool. I gotta watch that.
Also, oh my goodness. I think that's like Gigaspark. That would be Icicle Missiles. That's Kazap. I think that's Big Banga. No, that's another one. That one's Mega Magic or Magic Burst. Okay, that one's Big Banga. Nokturnus is just like throwing all these high-powered spells at him. Like, you almost feel bad for Mortimer after a while.
I kinda do.
You know, I wonder if Mortimer if Nokturnus just has some kind of special I can kill demons really easily property, since he's like a god of destruction or something.
That's a good observation. He probably is. I mean, he's a demon, so you'd think that he would know how to battle them.
Yeah. Now, the rest of the ending, from here on out, plays out exactly the same way it would if you were playing the regular game. With only one minor exception during the credits sequence, which we will cut to after a time. Probably should have cut to it right now, but I waited until we had flown all the way back to Zenithia Castle in order to do so.
Sure, and the music on this is pretty good.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah, it is. I enjoy it.
You know, I'll tell you what, I do have a weakness for good music, even in bad video games. You might have observed that at some point or another.
I have, and there's this game called, I believe, Action 56, and there's this like very iconic theme associated to it.
Oh?
And you should listen to it.
I will do so. Okay, I think this is about where we dissolve to the bonus scene involving Terry and the credits. One that sort of leads to a very interesting theory. You see, Terry goes to visit Nokturnus alone. And sort of his whole character development in the game is that he sold his soul for power to Duran. And now he marched to a literal palette swap of Duran. For who knows what. Maybe he just wanted to fight him. Maybe they wanted to play cards. Maybe Terry just wanted to kill him so he wasn't a threat later. Or it could be he made a deal with him to turn into an evolved demon. Just like the villain of Dragon Quest IV. Of course, here he is after that scene, so that kind of puts a kibosh in that theory, but still, interesting thought.
Well, who's the villain that you're talking about?
His name's Sorrow the Manslayer in Dragon Quest IV. He put his hopes in this demon called Astark, who lost his memories after going through the secret of evolution. So the theory was that Terry was that original monster called Astark. He wished to be an evolved form, but lost all his memories in the process. Supported by the fact that that monster is holding twin swords in his hand, and Terry is a swordsman, so it sort of makes sense.
I can see the implication on that.
Yeah, I don't believe in it myself, but there's hints. I think it's kind of negated by Terry, being here right now in front of us, like I said, but still.
Yeah, that's a pretty big hole on that theory.
Yeah. Maybe he did it later. But, by the way, did I just include this scene twice?
Looks like it, yeah.
That gives us more time to talk. So, we might have talked about this in the credits, but what did you think about this game? I give it a 9 out of 10 myself.
Well, I think that this game is pretty impressive, I would say. It tries to do a lot of things, and I would say it does most of them reasonably well for what it's trying to do.
Yeah, I personally like it for all the complexity there is in the battle mechanics. I mean, I made it look a lot easier than it actually is, but in Japan and I think in the US circles, it's known as one of the harder games and one that people say you have to grind a lot in, which hopefully I have disproved, except for beating the bonus boss, but, he's post-game.
I don't know, it seems like a lot of it just comes down to RNG on whether you get good rolls or bad rolls, but maybe that's just me. What do you think?
I'd say only for Murda and Mortimer. And Nokturnus. Those are the only 3. Apart from that, the other bosses are pretty consistent, I would say.
But wouldn't you say that this trivializes the boss fights?
I wouldn't say so because I had to do so much preparation for a lot of them.
That's fair enough.
Like if I was to hand the controller to you and I was just Skaizo, go into this blind, do whatever you gotta do, I'm fairly certain you would have something of a tough time with a lot of the fights, especially the final boss. You'd have an easier time with the remakes, but they're not that much easier.
That's fair enough. You gotta have a lot of knowledge on these games to really stand a chance. Now,
Yeah?
as to a rating, I would go for something like a 7 out of 10.
Oh?
I think that's reasonably fair. What do you think?
Sure. What are the biggest holes with the game, you would say?
Well, to me the game seemed a little rushed in some places, but otherwise, I mean, it holds up well, to be honest.
Yeah. You know what? I can see that though. The Best-Dressed Contest. Do you remember that?
I do, actually.
To this day, I'm still looking at it and I was like, did they playtest this part? Did they think it was interesting?
Yeah, that was really strange, actually. Well, this game reminds me of Skyrim a lot, actually, because it has that vibe to it that it's unfinished, but it's it tries a lot of things. It's very ambitious. That's my impression of it.
Yeah, and that's admirable in its own way, especially when they learn from their mistakes.
True. Maybe we'll play like a sequel or something in the future. We'll see how that goes.
Perhaps. At any rate, this has been Fionordequester and Skaizo. Hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you got something else you want me to play or something else you want me to look at. Won't guarantee I'll play it, but I'll consider it. Skaizo himself has a game that he wants me to play, Darkest Dungeon, I think, so you might see that at some point. But at any rate, have a nice day, and God bless y'all.
Okay, see you, YouTube.
Bye.